Lucas Oil ASCS Show. Your weekly stop for news and talk from America's largest sprint car series on America's fastest motorsports website, RacinBoys.com.
Welcome, everyone, to the ASCS Show. I'm Scott Traylor, along with the voice of the Lucas Oil ASCS Sprint Car Dirt Series, Bryan Hulbert. Bryan, night number 1 in the books here at Canyon Speedway Park for the Copper Classic. TBJ comes out on top.
Yeah, I mean, Tony, he drew the pole position on that deal, and he definitely used it to his advantage. He never gave it up. He led the race from start to finish. And he even mentioned when I interviewed him on the front straightaway, the bad thing about leading the entire race, you don't know where anybody's at. And they were starting to come up on him on the top of 3 and 4. That's where a lot of guys were making up a lot of ground. We saw Jason Johnson charge up through the field using the top of 3 and 4. But the top of 1 and 2, they typically give those spots back, and that was happening to him quite a bit where they'd go in and they'd wash the front of the car out. So they were really having to use the top 3 and 4. The bottom of the racetrack was good all the way around. But the biggest thing that Tony talked about is the fact that it's got a very soft berm around the bottom of this track. And what was happening is a lot of times they go down and try to use that berm to pin the right rear. And it was throwing a lot of trash up onto the track. So hopefully tonight they'll be able to get a little bit more packed down on that berm and make it where they're not throwing some of that trash out, because it did make for really dusty conditions as we got later on in the race. But once we did have the long green flag runs, it was really nice. It was some really good racing. And Tony really did a good job, and for where he ended last year to come out and win, I mean, hats off to him and Wayne.
Brady Bacon seemed to find some of that they were throwing up into the middle of the track, and on that last lap, he made a run on the outside. I think if he goes up there a lap or two earlier, he might have been the winner last night.
He might have been, and when I talked to him on the front straightaway, and he talked about the battle between him and Danny Wood, he said himself, it took too long to get around Danny. He probably could have gotten around him sooner. He would have given Tony a run for his money, and probably a couple more laps he may have gotten him. And Tony even said he may have gotten it done. So, you know, Brady, like I said, he did use the top of 3 and 4, and it worked to his advantage. It worked very well for him.
One of the big stories, I think, last night was that Shane Stewart, the defending champion of the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, is not here. Paul Sylvan himself lost their sponsorship with Rockstar and Makita last year, weren't able to replace those sponsors over the winter. Unfortunately, Shane is in Australia racing. That is a blow for the series, but we still have guys like Jason Johnson, Wayne Johnson, Logan Foiler is now back out here on tour with us. Danny Wood is back out here, Brady Bacon. We still have a lot of great drivers to compete on the national tour.
We do. I mean, the caliber of drivers has not fallen off one bit. I mean, and Shane certainly did not lose anything because of lack of performance. It was not that at all. Rockstar dropped out on, it seemed like, just about everybody. You know, for whatever reason, it's unfortunate, but you really got to look at Shane. He's a very diverse driver. He came back for the King of the 360s, won 2 out of 3, I believe, last night. He got 3rd in Australia, so, I mean, he's still doing good. No matter where he's at, he's going to win. He's going to be in competition for the win. And he still said he's probably going to run about 20 or 30 shows, I believe, is something that you had talked to him about.
Yeah, he told me that Paul Sylvan and him plan on running some races. They weren't sure how many that was going to be. We're looking forward to seeing Shane back out here with us on the national tour. 64 dates on the national tour this year, Bryan, up from 35 last year. Some people could be naysayers about it. A little cut in the purse to get more dates, but all in all, I think all the drivers are satisfied with what happened over the winter.
Well, it was the drivers that elected to do it. They're the ones that agreed to the terms, and they're the ones that were happier about seeing the increased number of dates to run. So, you know, they're getting what they wanted, and I think it's going to be great because we're going to places that have never seen the Lucas Oil America Sprint Car Series. Case in point, the track and pit area that's sitting behind us. This is the first time that this series has come to the Canyon Speedway Park. I have to say, Doug Gabbard and Kevin Montgomery have done an exceptional job. It was a great racetrack last night. They've done a lot of prep work already on this track. They've come out and tilled it earlier, and it's going to be a really good race tonight.
Are you going to be able to hold up all year with that exciting announcing job that you do?
I don't know.
Yeah. Bryan is a great addition to the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. A little bit earlier, I had a chance to talk with last night's winner, TBJ, Tony Bruce Jr.
Next to your car's engine, your transmission is the second most important component of your car. If it's not properly maintained, your car may not shift properly. By adding Lucas Transmission Fix to your transmission, it cleans and lubricates sticking valves for proper shifting, renews worn bands to stop slipping, stops most seal leaks, will not void new car warranties, contains no harmful solvents. Lucas Transmission Fix. It works.
We're down here in the pits at the Copper Classic Canyon Speedway Park with last night's winner, night number 1, TBJ, Tony Bruce Jr. Tony, congratulations, bud. You finally got that monkey off your back and got that National Tour win.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, it's been over a year since we had a National Tour win, so it feels good to kick the season off and get a win.
Yeah. The car was really rolling good. It started off, good heat race, pill draw on the pole. Man, that made the difference, didn't it?
Oh, it definitely does. Starting position at ASCS races, is key with everything. And so, we were able to come through the heat like we needed to and getting that redraw. And fortunately, they left me the one to pull out of the bag, and there we were.
Yeah. I know I had a chance to talk to you on practice night, and you were quick to load your car up. And we can tell this story now because you backed it up. Tony told me on Thursday night during practice, my car is so fast, I don't want anybody to see it. He put it in the trailer, and sure enough, picks up the win. Tony, first win since 2010, a tough year last year. Talk about that and what it means for you to get that win.
We expected to, I guess, kind of get back into the routine, but not necessarily, on the first night. And so, we kind of got that out of the way. But, like you said, last time I won is 2010, and it was just one of those deals where I just kind of got, we just weren't having a good season. And, we readjusted, redid everything last year. Towards the end of the season, brought Wayne back and, just kind of refocused the team and myself. And, fortunately it's paid off. And, like you said, on the practice night, we went out and we were basically just focusing on what the heat races were going to be because that's so important with ASCS with the passing points. And, we felt like we had a good car and we really didn't feel like we were going to get any better and didn't want to show everybody how fast we were. So we just loaded it up and came out and the plan worked out well.
Wayne Purdy wins the National Crew Chief of the Year after you guys split up 2010, jumped on with Jason Johnson. Took a little time off from the National Tour, comes back with you last year. You guys seem to have some kind of special chemistry.
Yeah, we do. I think we work so well together. He knows what I need, I know what he needs, and that is just it. I don't even have to come in after coming off the racetrack and tell him what the car needs. He's already on it. We're already thinking in the same direction, and it makes it real nice because I can just come in and say, yeah, do what you do. I'm gonna go watch the racetrack, and then whenever I come back, I know that the car that I'm gonna climb into is gonna be fast.
All right, night number 2. They're out there putting water on the track. I saw you out there taking a look at it. You've got the luxury of not having to race tonight until the A main. What do you expect tonight, and what do you think your chances are to pick up 2 wins in a row?
I think they're just as good, but the guys that got locked in last night are just as fast, if not faster than what we are. And so we know that we got a lot of work ahead of us. Nothing's given to you in this deal, and so we're just going to focus on what we need to do and hopefully get a good pill draw and get the same result.
All right, before we let you go, TBJ Promotions, give us a little update how things are going. I know you and I are co-promoting 2 National Tour events, May 23rd at Grain Valley Speedway, and also up in Osborne, Missouri, the first annual US 36 Nationals. Give us a little update on some of your other events.
We got the Steve King Memorial coming up over Memorial Day weekend, Saturday and Sunday there. Then we also got the Rock and Roll 50, which is April 28th. It's just a one-night show. Then we got June 8th and 9th at Eagle Raceway for the Eagle Nationals. And, we're just looking forward to it. And then July 3rd, your and I event there at US 36 in Cameron, Missouri. We're really looking forward to that. So, any information that fans want to check out, go to tbjpromotions.com. You can catch it on RacinBoys.com, ASCS's website as well, just to check the dates. We're really looking forward to it. And, as far as the race car goes, I got to thank a lot of other guys that came on board this year. Clifford Young with Pro Auto. Last year he gave me the luxury of driving his race car, and he stayed on board with us this year for our car. And so, I really appreciate him. Steve Watt with Steve Watt Enterprise, Maxwell Shock Dynos, those guys, he came on board with us this year, gave us some great parts to put on the car, and we really appreciate them. And then all the continued support with Oil Medics, Smiley's Race Products, Hoosier Tire, Maxim Chassis, Butler Built Seats, Gertie Engines, and like I say, just everybody that's on board, FK Rod Ends. We just really appreciate everybody sticking with us through last year, and hopefully, this is a sign to come for this year.
All right, man. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's send it over to Brian. He's caught up with last night's second-place finisher, Brady Bacon.
Thank you very much, Scott. Brady, last night a fantastic run for you. You had to fight your way up through the field a little bit. You ended up coming home in second. That last lap, you went to the high side and looked like you were pretty close to getting it done. Do you think maybe another lap you could have gotten it?
Yeah, I wish I would have moved up there to the top. I needed a 2 to go flag to kind of let me know how much time I had left because, you know, I just tried. It was getting so slick on the bottom in 3 and 4. I just tried to keep my speed up there on the top, and it worked out. And I was a lot better than him in 1 and 2, and especially coming off of 2 down the back stretch. So if I could have got close enough to him coming off of 2, I think we could have snuck by him going into 3, coming to the checkered.
Now, 1 and 2, a lot of drivers were trying the high side there, but it seemed like they were giving up a lot of positions. At any time to the top of 1 and 2, seemed like it may have been coming to you?
No, I never even tried it in 1 and 2 because I happened to be running lower than everybody else already. So I just kept passing them on the bottom because I don't know if they were too tight or loose or something. They were having trouble rotating the middle of 1 and 2, and we were perfect right there, and that's where we passed most of our cars.
Now, one of the biggest things that I've heard drivers talk about is the fact that this track has a soft berm on it. Did you notice any problems with that whenever you were racing?
Yeah, you know, when they get that up there and they don't water it and pack it in, you can really kind of drag it out on the racetrack, and then it gets real dirty, and that's some of the reason it got so slick in 3 and 4 is because we drug all the dusty dirt and rocks and stuff off of the berm. You know, if they watered it a little bit and packed it, it'll probably be a little bit better, but I'm a fan of a berm on the bottom, so I've hit a couple tractor tires in my day, so berms are a little less damaging.
Definitely, but the nice thing about that berm is it allows you to pin that right rear and get the drive off the corner.
Yeah, you know, the bottom is sometimes, a lot of times for me, that's kind of when it happens, so if it's on the bottom, you can usually find me in the front or headed that way.
Now, one thing last night, you'd said a lot of people look like they're having trouble getting around the corner. Did you notice the way this track goes from top to bottom, that it has maybe a little bit of a crown right in the middle, and it kind of keeps you from really being able to apex the corner?
Yeah, 1 and 2 seems like there's something over there. If you don't get rotated just right, you just slide up coming off of 2, and it's really hard to stay, you know, on the bottom. But we were able to get that done tonight, and I think that's going to be another key in being fast tonight is 1 and 2 staying on the bottom.
Well, he's already got himself locked into the show, and Brady Bacon, always a threat to win at any track he goes to. Scott?
Well, there you have it, night number 1 in the books here at the Copper Classic. We appreciate Tony Bruce and Brady Bacon taking time to talk to us here on RacinBoys. As you can see, the sun is still up here at the Copper Classic, but we're going to move ahead in tonight's action. And here is night number 2's A-Main of the Lucas Oil ASCS Sprint Car Dirt Series on RacinBoys TV.
So the field just about lined up. One more time, we'll set it for you. The 53 of Jack Dover, the 05 of Brad Loyette in row number 1, the 14 of Tony Stewart, the 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. in row number 2, the 99 of Brady Bacon, the 77X of Wayne Johnson in row number 3, the 90 of Lance Nork, the 2 of Dustin Morgan, the 41 of Jason Johnson, the 77 of Dalton Gabbard, the 41W of Josh Williams, the 23 of Seth Bergman, the 9 of Gary Wright, the 11C of Matt Covington, the 45X of Johnny Herrera, the 11 of Roger Crockett, the 33V of Henry Van Dam, the 24 of Terry McCarl, the 50Z of Zach Chappell, the 87 of Aaron Reitzel, the 74X of Josh Hodges, the 21 of Brian Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, the caution lights are down. 30 laps of racing set to get underway here with the Lucas Oil America's Sprint Car Series presented by MAV TV. Place your bets on who's going to win. You've got Jack Dover leading them down to the drop of the green flag. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are. The cars and stars of the ASCS National Tour are underway as Jack Dover spins it around on the start. Look out! My, oh my, Jack Dover getting some major grip off the bottom of turn number 4, spun it around. Luckily, everybody able to avoid him as he did spin about half on, half off the racetrack. Wow. Oh my. Certainly not the way the driver from Springfield, Nebraska wanted to start this main event. The Home Pride Certified Transmission Trail Performance coating of Butler Belt Seats number 53, as that will now put him to the tail of this very stout field for the Copper Classic. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, look who will occupy the pole position. Tony Stewart in the Office Depot Curb Agajanian 14. As we move the inside row straight up on the field.
Set to try it again here. The caution lights are down. Now it's going to be Smoke and Loyette on the front row. Side by side, ready to go. Your field going to bunch up into turn number 3. Tony Stewart going to hold them all the way out of turn number 4. Here we go. Back to green. Green flag will wave the field. We'll race into turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Tony Stewart with the advantage on the back straightaway as they're 3 wide on the back straightaway in mid-pack. Johnny Herrera, Roger Crockett, and Gary Wright all trying to make their way up through the running order early on as the battle up front. Give the race lead back to Brad Loyette. Brad Loyette going to steal the way on the high side. Tony Stewart down to the inside line. He's going to give chase to the back straightaway. Brady Bacon right now sitting in 3rd. Tony Bruce Jr. in 4th with the 77X of Wayne Johnson currently rounding out your top 5. Back up at the front, though, the 05, Brad Loyette. He's setting a good pace here early on as he works the high side through turns 1 and 2. Tony Stewart still working right around the bottom of the racetrack. Tony Bruce, Brady Bacon, and now the 41 of Jason Johnson. Jason Johnson stealing away the 5th spot. The 77X of Wayne Johnson is going to fall back to 6th. 7th right now is going to be the 9 of Gary Wright. Wright sliding it way high on the exit of turn number 4. Gathers it back up, and we stay green flag racing. And then you're going to find Lance Nork. This is going to be the 2 of Dustin Morgan as now Nork will go around. Lance Nork spinning it around. Bronze sign across the bottom of turns 1 and 2. The caution waves again. So the caution waving with 3 laps in the books here. As it was the 90 of Lance Norrick, who was running about mid-pack at the time that he spun right on the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Everybody, fortunately, though, able to avoid him. 3 laps in. Again, 3 laps in this 30-lap A main event. 3 laps down. As they work through turns 1 and 2, the field now down the back straightaway. The caution lights have gone down. Single file. Loyette, then it's Stewart, then it's Bruce, then it's going to be Bacon, then it's going to be Jason Johnson, your top 5. Wayne Johnson, Gary Wright, Dustin Morgan, Dalton Gabbard, Johnny Herrera, your top 10. As we work on going back to green, they work off a turn number 4. Loyette brings them all the way down the front straightaway. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Brad Loyette picks up right where he left off, back to the high side through turns 1 and 2, but the man on the move is Jason Johnson. Jason Johnson with a round she is 4th, thumping under the 41. He restarted 50. He's already got 3rd with the slide jump of the 18 to Tony Bruce Jr. He slides in too high, though, and Bruce is going to steal it back. Tony Bruce back up into 3rd with Brady Bacon right there in the mix now. Bacon going to round out your top 5 as the 41 on the high side on the move. He's got 3rd back down the back straightaway. Jason Johnson up into 3rd, the 14 of Tony Stewart right in front of him as he works down to the bottom of the racetrack. And then it's going to be Brad Loyette, your race leaders now. Smoke, he's going to switch up lines. He goes to the high side through turns 1 and 2. Brad Loyette, though, has put almost a straightaway between him and the 14. Jason Johnson still sitting in 3rd. 4th right now is going to be the 99 of Brady Bacon. Then it's the 3-car battle to be in the top 5. The 18 of Tony Bruce Jr., the 9 of Gary Wright, and the 77X of Wayne Johnson all going to go at it. They run high, they run low, they run right through the middle. The 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. right now going to have the advantage. It's going to be Tony Bruce Jr. rounding out your top 5. Gary Wright going to run at 6th. 7th right now is Wayne Johnson. 8th is going to be Dustin Morgan. 9th is going to be Johnny Herrera. Your top 10 going to work off at turn number 4, and it's going to be rounded out by the 11 of Roger Crockett. The 24 of Terry McCarl starting to make his way up through the mix now as the battle up front. Here we go. It's going to be the battle for 2nd. Tony Stewart has got his hands full with Jason Johnson and Brady Bacon as they went 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. Now they're going to shuffle the 14 back. It's going to be Loyette, though, still your race leader. Jason Johnson is up into 2nd. Brady Bacon's up into 3rd. The 14 of Tony Stewart's going to fall back to 4th. Your top 5, though, is still up for grabs. Gary Wright trying to steal away from the 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. Tony Bruce able to hold on to 5th for the time being as we go back to the Office Depot number 14, trying to get the run on Brady Bacon to try to steal back 3rd. Not able to get it done as they work down the back straightaway. The 14 up to the high side. The 99 working right down to the bottom of the racetrack. A familiar line for the Fatheads Eyewear number 99. As they work into turns 1 and 2, though, they're starting to close in on your leader as they are in heavy lap traffic. The 05 of Brad Loyette going to work around the 90 of Lance Norton as we're working on lap 10. Next time by, it's going to be 11 laps down. It's still Brad Loyette showing the way. 11 laps in the books here as we are just past 1/3 in with just under 2/3 to go. Here the battle for the race lead side by side. Jason Johnson down to the inside. Brad Loyette up to the high side. Into turns 3 and 4. Loyette, he's going to hold on to it. Jason Johnson going to let off a little bit. He'll fall right back into his tire tracks. They battle down the front straightaway. Lap traffic side by side right in front of them as 2 cars come together right in front of Jason Johnson and Brady Bacon. 1 car will spin to a stop. The caution is out. My, oh my, the 33V of Henry Van Dam. Contact with another car. Spins it broadside to the bottom of the racetrack. The leaders were right there Everybody, though, able to avoid him. Brady Bacon having to kind of take evasive action down to the infield a little bit. He was able to make his way by, but what a shakeup at the front of the field. Tony Stewart trying to hold off the charge of Brady Bacon and Jason Johnson. They went 3 wide at one point, and Stewart now getting shuffled back to 4. Tony Bruce Jr. in a good battle as well with Gary Wright, as he's going to round out your top 5 as we'll let him get the field lined up. A few lap cars in the mix now, as again, they will have to run where they lie. If the leader had to pass him, then you must pass them. The lap cars will not go to the tail end of the field here. As the caution lights are down, your field is set to go single file over turn number 4. They pick up the pace. We're back underway. Jason Johnson will drop to the deck, and he's got the race lead off at turn number 2. Jason Johnson to the 41, right around the 05 of Brad Loyett, and now here comes Brady Bacon. Brady Bacon making quick work of the lap car. Lance Norrick now down to the bottom of the 05 as they'll battle side by side of a turn number 4. It's still Brad Loyett with the advantage, though, as he holds on to the runner-up spot. Tony Bruce Jr. now, he's going to try to throw his name up into this mix as we've got a massive pileup over in turns 3 and 4. Cars piled up over turns 3 and 4. Seth Bergman is involved. Aaron Reitzel is involved. Looks like the 41W Josh Williams is involved, and one driver under the pile here. We cannot see his number. As soon as we can find out who it is, we will pass on who the 4th driver involved is. As watching the battles shape up at the front of the field into turns 1 and 2, the field, though, stacking up towards the tail. As again, Bergman with damage on the left side of his car. Looks like Joshua Williams in that 41W also sitting over there, is looking over the field and not seeing the 41W rolling around the racetrack. Aaron Reitzel in the 87 sitting at the bottom end of this pile. Who's the 4th car involved?
Emmett, we've been running for 12 minutes.
Yeah, still waiting to find out who that 4th car is. As soon as we find out again, we'll pass it along to you. So we'll go back to the last fully completed lap. That's going to put Brad Loyett back up to the race lead. Loyett worked to the high side on the restart into turns 1 and 2. Jason Johnson dove to the bottom and just drove away from Loyett, as Loyett was now left to fend for himself with the 99 of Brady Bacon. Bacon sitting in 3rd. Tony Stewart sitting in 4th, and Tony Bruce Jr. continuing to run at your top 5. Bruce putting the moves on the 14 there as the caution started to come out, so you'll have to see if he can get it done again. As we wait for the field to finish getting lined up and ready to go.
Hey, Emmett, 53 is on the track. Give me another car number. Oh, never mind, sorry. It was 50C.
As it looks like the 4th car involved. As it looks like the 4th car involved was the 50Z, it looks like, of Zach Chappell as they start to move cars away. The number on the side of that car, though, still out of view. Morgan, Wayne Johnson, Herrera, Crockett. Again, your top 10. The caution lights are down. The track is clear. Here we go. Brad Loyett going to try to hold off Jason Johnson one more time. He holds him into turn 3. He goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to try to grab the moisture. He'll pick it up at a 4. The green flag waves. Back to the cone. We're back underway. Brady Bacon down to the inside of the 90 of Lance Norrick. He's going to clear the lap car, as will the 14 of Tony Stewart. Back up to the front of the field, though, the 05 of Brad Loyett still going to hold on to the race lead. Jason Johnson this time not able to get the run that he had on the previous restart, as we're going to have 12 laps in the books here. The 05 of Loyett, the 41 of Jason Johnson, the 99 of Bacon, the 14 of Stewart, the 18 of Bruce. As they work down the back straightaway, your top 5 all within striking distance of each other still as they work into turns 3 and 4. Loyett up to the high side. Jason Johnson working down to the inside line as they swap lines into turns 1 and 2. This time Loyett going to dive to the bottom. Jason Johnson up to the high side, as here comes Brady Bacon. Brady Bacon going to try to battle for that runner-up spot now as they work into turns 3 and 4. Bacon having to back out of the throttle a little bit. The 41 of Jason Johnson able to hold on to it, but he slides it high on the exit of 4, and here comes the Fatheads Eyewear 99. Brady Bacon again dives down to the bottom, slides it up out of the groove a little bit, though, as Johnson's able to hold on to 2nd. Tony Stewart still running at 4th, with Tony Bruce Jr. continuing to run at your top 5. The 2 of Dustin Morgan running at 6th. 7th right now is going to be the 9 of Gary Ryan. 8th is going to be the 45X of Johnny Herrera. 9th is going to be the 77X of Wayne Johnson. The 11 of Roger Crockett continues to run at your top 10. As back up front now, the battle for the race lead is on. Down to the inside goes Brad Loyett. To the high side goes Jason Johnson. Johnson going to try to put it up right against the wall, as they're both going to dive to the bottom of the turns 1 and 2. Who's going to get there the fastest? It's Loyett. Brad Loyett able to hold on to the race lead. As we work down the back straightaway, we've got 17 laps in the books. This time it'll be 18 laps down, and it's a three-car battle at the front. The 05 of Brad Loy at the 41 of Jason Johnson, the 99 of Brady Bacon, all right there into turns 1 and 2 as they've separated themselves from the 14 of Tony Stewart. Stewart sitting all by himself at 4th of the 18 of Tony Bruce Jr., continuing to round out your top 5. Down the front straightaway, and it is still Brad Loyette showing the way. Loyette in the 05 continuing to lead here is now. Look out, your leader has gone around. Brad Loyette has spun to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. He's going to keep it rolling, but the caution is out. Brad Loyette doing the 360. He kept it going, but the caution had flown. As waiting to hear from ASCS officials how this is going to be handled, because Loyette did not stop.
But we had Brad in the lead. I know, but when he came back out on the track,
Now the 99 of Brady Bacon going to line up in second. Tony Stewart lines up in third. Fourth is going to be Tony Bruce Jr. with Dustin Morgan now your top 5. The 9 of Gary Wright, the 45X of Johnny Herrera, the 77 of Wayne Johnson, the 53 of Jack Dover, and how about this? 10th is going to be the 05 of Brad Loyette, as that is where he came out onto the racetrack. So we get back underway. The green flag is out. Here we go again. Jason Johnson now going to try to just run away with this thing as he is going to pull the 99 of Brady Bacon in a big way to the back straightaway. Jason Johnson up to the high side of turns 3 and 4. Brady Bacon right around the bottom here as they're going to separate themselves from the 14 of Tony Stewart. Stewart still running at third. Tony Bruce Jr. and Dustin Morgan still running at your top 5 as the battle right now is going to be for 6 as the caution is out. Caution waving for the 11C of Matt Covington. Covington going to take it down into the hot pit. So the oil field equipment and manufacturing 11C. Problems on his race car. He is down into the work area. So once again, Jason Johnson, your leader. Brady Bacon, Tony Stewart, Tony Bruce Jr., Dustin Morgan, your top 5. Gary Wright, Wayne Johnson, Johnny Herrera, Brad Loyette. Now Jack Dover is back up at a 10th after having to go to the tail of the field with the spin on the start of this race. He is starting to march his way back up through as we come back off of turn number 4. The green flag is out. We're back underway. Everybody diving down to the bottom of the racetrack into turns 1 and 2. Only a few drivers tempting the high side. McCarl's one of them. Loyette's another one, and he's going to give the position to the 53 of Jack Dover. Dover goes to the inside. Loyette, though, going to try to battle back to the high side into turns 3 and 4. As up to the front of the field, the 41, Jason Johnson, your race leader. Brady Bacon slides it up out of the groove, gets it sideways, holds on to it, though, as he continues to run his second. Tony Stewart still holding on to third. Tony Bruce Jr. sitting in fourth of the 2 of Dustin Morgan, continuing to run at your top 5. Up to the high side now, the 77X of Wayne Johnson, going to get around the 9 of Gary Wright. He's going to steal away 6 now. He dives it down to the bottom of the turns 1 and 2. As Loyette going to go to the high side of 1 and 2. He's still in a good battle with the 53 of Jack Dover. Dover, though, still with the advantage as they work down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. The battle on the racetrack to try to be in the top 5. Here comes Wayne Johnson. Johnson in the 77X. To the high side in turns 3 and 4. Now drops down to the bottom, and he's going to get the run on Dustin Morgan. Morgan nearly loses the handle on that race car on the exit of turn number 2 as he clipped the 77X, and that actually straightened him back out. Wayne Johnson trying to march his way up to the front of the field here. As back up at the front, it's going to be Jason Johnson in the AccuDoc Solutions number 41 showing the way. The 99 of Brady Bacon still sitting in second as he's about a half a straightaway behind right now. The 14 of Tony Stewart still sitting in third. The 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. sitting in fourth is now the 77X of Wayne Johnson running at your top 5. Working the high side trying to run down the 18. The 2 of Dustin Morgan has slid back to 6. The 9 of Gary Wright's going to run his 7th. 8th is going to be the 45X of Johnny Herrera. 9th is going to be Brad Loyette. Your top 10 going to round up with the 53 of Jack Dover. Loyette and Dover swapping that position several times now as Loyette goes to the high side. Dover working down to the bottom of the racetrack. It's going to be Loyette holding on to it. Out of turns 3 and 4, the 41 of Jason Johnson still leading the 99 of Brady Bacon as we have less than 5 laps to go. It's going to be Johnson with slower traffic starting to become an issue as he's got the 33 V of Henry Van Dam right in front of him. Van Dam drops it down to the bottom of the racetrack into turns 3 and 4. Your leader going to work to the high side as he closes in about 3 car lengths now into turns 1 and 2. Now it's a question of where can you run and get around him as Jason Johnson is held up, and Brady Bacon's right there. The battle is on for the race lead. Jason Johnson in the 41 to the high side of turns 3 and 4. Brady Bacon down to the inside line. The drag race this time. Who's going to be the leader? It's going to be Jason Johnson at the line. Jason Johnson still showing the way. Brady Bacon right down to the bottom of the racetrack. Johnson, though, able to slam the door on him as he's going to work past the 33 V of Henry Van Dam down to the inside line into turns 3 and 4. He's going to put the lap car between him and Brady Bacon. He slides back to the high side, though, and Brady Bacon's got the run down the front straightaway. Here comes the fat heads I 99. Back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Both drivers fly into turns 1 and 2 as they continue to pull down the back straightaway. Tony Stewart in a distant third. The 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. The 77X of Wayne Johnson still your top 5. Is now Johnson going to be challenged by the 9 of Gary Wright as the white flag waves this time. If Brady Bacon wants it, he's going to have to come and get it as he's going to lose a little bit of ground through turns 1 and 2. Jason Johnson on his way to the back straightaway as they work into turn 3. Out of turn number 4, the last lap. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Jason Johnson with the win. Jason Johnson picking up the win. The 99 of Brady Bacon, the 14 of Tony Stewart, the 18 of Tony Bruce Jr., and the 77X of Wayne Johnson will round out your top 5. The 9 of Gary Wright, the 2 of Dustin Morgan, the 45X of Johnny Herrera, the 53 of Jack Dover, the 11 of Roger Crockett's going to round out your top 10.
I'll tell you what, it's a great group of guys, and just couldn't thank Stenhouse Racing and Roush for this great opportunity to showcase the Ford power. It's something unique, and that's what we like to be, is a little bit unique, and these guys build great power, and we just still working on it, still fine-tuning it. I think coming in the season, we're going to be really strong.
You had some fantastic battles out there with Brad Loyette up there for a while, and then with Brady Bacon there at the end of that race. Take us through some of those battles in live traffic with Brady. You two got side by side several times.
Yeah, I knew, Brady's notorious for being really good on the bottom of the racetrack, and I knew I was closing the door in 1 and 2, and I tried to run the bottom in 3 and 4, and I just couldn't do it like he could. We just missed it a little bit, so I kind of stayed up top, and when we got to lap traffic, I kind of got a little too patient or a little too undecisive of where to be, and I know one time he got a really good run on me. I had to shut the door on him hard, but when you're racing for the win, it's all, give it all.
Now, lap traffic a couple times, it looked like they were slamming the door on you, but you were able to get around to the top of 1 and 2 a couple times. You were able to make it work, but towards the end of the race, it looked like it was just kind of going away in the bottom, definitely where you wanted to be. Well,
the bottom come in 1 and 2 a lot more there at the end of the race, and actually in 3 and 4 is about the same, and they're throwing a little bit of loose stuff there off of 4, so you kind of cut across the 4 just a fraction. But really want to thank these guys that's standing behind me. Stenhouse Racing, HM Racing Australia, Alan Haynes, he's all the way from around the world. He's going to support us here in America, and he's here tonight, so it's great to get a win while him and Lisa are here. AccuDot Solutions, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Law Office of Richard Strunks, the Shop Diesel Service. Just couldn't thank all these great organizations for giving us this awesome opportunity.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, your race winner tonight, the Raging Cajun, Jason Johnson.